the first signs of spring in Alaska, many avid clam diggers are inspired to head for the Kenai Peninsula, located some 170 miles south of Anchorage. The most popular area for digging razor clams is at Clam Gulch, 22 miles south of Soldotna on Cook Inlet. Clam diggers arrive in cars, campers, buses, beach buggies, and even airplanes. During peak weekends, hundreds of cars and campers are parked along the road for a mile and a half from the beach. "3,600 diggers have been counted on the beaches at one time, and 1,600 diggers at Clam Gulch have harvested as many as 41,000 razor clams in one day. Both diggers and harvest increase annually. The table quality of the clam is best in early summer, before July and August, when each female clam 2 years or older will lay 6 to 10 million eggs. The various razor clam beaches on the Kenai Peninsula extend along the waters of Cook Inlet from the Kasilof River to Anchor Point. These beaches can be reached by access roads from the Sterling Highway, which is part of the all-paved Alaska highway system. The Clam Gulch campground has picnic tables, fireplaces, water, and sanitary facilities. Most clammers hike to the beaches from their vehicles carrying buckets, sacks, and shovels. Those driving on the beaches are advised to keep conventional vehicles above the reach of the high tides. It's easy to get stuck in the soft, sandy areas at low tide. In addition to the razor clam, a few redneck clams and cockles are found on these beaches. All three species are edible. Razors are generally fried, while rednecks and cockles make excellent chowder. A count of annual growth rings gives an accurate age of the clam. It is sound management to harvest 4- and 5-year-old clams which have completed most of their growth and left many offspring for the future. Razor clamming can be enjoyed by the whole family. This family is searching for a show or dimple, which is the imprint left on the sand when the clam's neck is withdrawn. This dimple indicates the presence of a clam. Clams are generally dug on these beaches with a narrow-bladed clam shovel. In dry digging, insert the shovel in the sand 3 to 6 inches seaward of the dimple. This distance depends on the length of the blade and the amount of hook it has. Next, remove sand with a lifting motion. Try twisting the shovel at the same time. Note that the blade remains nearly vertical. Succeeding shovelfuls expose the clam enough so that it can be removed by grasping the neck or shell. Note that the shovel remains away from the clam. Don't pry back on the shovel handle with the shovel blade toward the clam. This action might cut off the neck or smash the shell. Excessive haste in picking up broken clams can cause cut fingers. Ah, another dimple. A clam always digs vertically with no lateral movement. In soft, wet sand, a razor clam can burrow downward at 1 inch a minute. The best digging is generally an hour before to 2 hours after low tide. To determine the time of minus tide, consult a local tide book. Despite the increase in the number of diggers each year, These clam stocks are in excellent condition. The daily limit is 60 clams, although this quota may be changed at any time by management. If the digger can avoid breaking the shell, he will save himself some labor. Broken shells make the clam more difficult to clean. Perpetuation of the species is the responsibility of each digger. It is unlawful to leave a broken clam on the beach. With a little assistance, even the youngest member of the family can help fill the bucket. But that's not always easy when the shovel is almost as big as the digger. Sport fish licenses are required for diggers 16 years of age and older. There is no closed season. Persistence generally pays off even for a youngster when he uses the right digging technique. Warm clothing should be worn, especially in the cool of early spring. Some family outings have had to be curtailed because the children were not dressed warmly. Washing the clams before returning to the campground makes later cleaning easier. It is also a good time to clean the boots and shovels. The razor clam harvest has been managed for sustained yield since 1965 by the Sport Fish Division of the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. The resource is managed by a creel census and a monthly sampling program at selected beach sites. Clam diggers can aid this creel census by making an accurate count of their clams before they leave the beach. They should count and retain all clams regardless of their shell damage. His degree of digging success is surely written in this man's face, or maybe he just had a good time. Children taking part in this family sport soon learn that cooperation is the name of the game. While the razor clams of Cook Inlet are a delicious and healthful food, some types of clams in southeastern Alaska, at times, have harbored hazardous shellfish toxin. Clammers in other parts of the state, especially in southeastern Alaska, should be aware of this potential health hazard. A sharp knife and scissors are useful in cleaning clams. To remove the meat, run the knife blade along the inner surface and cut the muscles holding the body to the shell. Snip off the dark tip of the neck. Open both canals of the neck and remove the sand. Remove the dark-colored gills and digestive parts. Finally, split and clean the foot. Except for the dark parts, all the meat of the clam can be eaten. Although razor clams make excellent chowder stock, most diggers prefer them fried. Before frying, they can be made more tasty by dipping the meat in egg batter and rolling it in cracker crumbs. For tender, succulent clams, the skillet should be sizzling hot, and the frying time should be limited to 1 or 2 minutes. Over-frying can cause toughness and lack of flavor. Fresh fried clams served hot are a delectable feast that will long be remembered by the most exacting connoisseur of seafoods, especially by the digger, whose appetite has been whetted by a day's outing on the clam beaches of Alaska.